All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Tamon Hamlet, creator of Retake the House GOP. We are continuing our interview series with congressional candidates, and today we're hoping to interview Miss Jeanne Ives. So just give them a few seconds for them to join. Thank you for joining, everyone. Just wait here a couple of seconds. There we go. All right. Yeah, Illinois needs a lot of help up there, from what I've seen. There we go. All right. Sorry for the
Finally.
technical difficulties. Yeah, we figured it out. Sorry about that. Well, thank you so much. I'm really grateful. You're definitely one of the running in one of the most nationally contested races. So, it's important to get people who are unaware of the race out there and volunteering if they can. So, why don't we start? My name is Tamon Hamlet. I am a sophomore at University of Houston. I am a grassroots activist here in Harris County.
Nice.
Um, and you are Miss Jeanne Ives. Why don't we start with who you are and what race you're running in?
Oh, thank you for having me on your Instagram. I've never done this before, so we're thrilled to try this new technology.
Oh, it's my
Um,
first time too. Yeah.
well, great. In fact, I never had Instagram until I started this race for Congress, but I have been an elected official before. I was a Wheaton City Council member. That's a local office here in Wheaton, Illinois, where I've lived for 28 years. And, you learn a lot serving on the local level. Go to DC, we have to look out for people locally. Then I served for 6 years in the State House, which is really the frat house here in Illinois, where all of the chaos ensues. But I mean, I've just beat my brains in basically trying to get people on both sides of the parties to understand that we need to have a balanced budget and you cannot tax people more in this state. It's outrageous. And then the opportunity came to take out one of the most awful, I mean, honestly, one of the most far left politicians in DC. This is a guy who would take your very last dime for his green energy programs and call that a win. I mean, he's really very self-serving. Plus, he's just the most bizarre character, quite frankly. The things he says, like, well, Dan Crenshaw down there in Houston.
Yes, yes. Crenshaw is a great friend of mine. He's actually the reason how I found out about you because he always promotes you.
Yeah,
So,
he's terrific. Well,
yes.
I mean, so Sean Caston, the guy I'm running against, called Navy SEAL combat war veteran Dan Crenshaw a racist over a policy disagreement. And then he wants to say that I'm not decent, that I'm the one who's divisive. No, Sean Caston is one of the most indecent humans who, as a sitting congressman, really tweets out a Cardi B WAP video. Now, I mean, maybe your age group is engaged in that type of stuff. This is a grown man, way past his frat boy days, doing goofy stuff in the college basement. And then you guys
Yeah.
in Texas, you like your Second Amendment. Well, guess what? So do we. We appreciate the Second Amendment. But this is a guy who said that having small genitals is not a sufficient reason to own a gun. I mean, totally
Yeah,
denigrating all gun owners. Tamon, this guy
yeah,
is just like one big tax hike, one big government policy, and one more indecent comment after another, denigrating his colleagues ad nauseum.
yes. That's it's very surprising to see our elected officials act like that. You know, it seems like he's still. You mentioned my age group. He's still stuck in that college age mentality. So you
Well,
know, we're
but
yeah.
let's be honest. I have college kids. I get it. I mean, I've got 5 children, three of who served or are serving in the military, including the oldest is a former Army infantry officer with his Ranger tab. The second guy's a Navy pilot. The fourth guy's at West Point right now. I mean, we get it. I've been around a lot in my life as a West Point graduate myself, mother of 5, military mom. I get it, but I mean, honestly, this guy. I mean, at some point you grow up and you talk about real policy solutions instead of like always going to the gutter on your Twitter feed.
Yeah, so let's talk about that actually. West Point. I don't know if you saw the shirt that I'm wearing.
Ooh,
Um,
I like it. Nice.
so I'm hoping to apply there, and I'm hoping to get in. You know, I went there during an overnight candidate visit, and when I went there, it was so unique. It was so special, and the cadets there just made me feel at home right away. So I was reading your biography, and it said you're class of 1987, that was 10 years after women were admitted into the academy. I find that very interesting. So why don't you explain more about what made you wanted to go to West Point, and maybe what you learned from it and how to make you a
Oh,
great leader?
well, it's just a very unique and special place. It is the premier leadership institution in the United States. They do train leaders well, and it's all hands-on leadership. It's none of this book learning that you might get. You know, you get a lot of people that maybe teach a leadership class, but they've never really been in the crucible of a leadership organization where really the rubber meets the road, where you have to make things happen, where you have to lead people of all different backgrounds. And so I really appreciated the leadership development that I got there. I'm imbued with the whole duty, honor, country thing. That is part of who I am. That's why I want to serve in Congress, because I see our country kind of getting off track. And it really is about duty, honor, country if we want to preserve American freedoms for our future generations. I really do believe in the cadet code of honor. A cadet will not lie, steal, or cheat, nor tolerate those that do. That is exactly how I've run my life and how I've taught my children to run their lives. But I mean, it's a special place. Actually, I was in the 8th class to graduate women. The first class graduated in 1980. I graduated in 87. And, you know, back then the women just did it. I mean, we just went because we wanted to. We wanted a different experience. We thought it was important to serve our country. I think most people go there for that reason as well. But we didn't wear it on our sleeve. Like, I'm a woman, you know, look at me. We just went
Yeah,
through it. That was our generation. And I think generations post tense have become much more identified by their, you know, their particular sex or race or whatever. And they're, I think it's become more kind of like defined by identity politics, or who you are,
yeah,
identify as,
definitely,
rather than,
definitely.
you know, we're just all Americans, and we just, as women, we just went there. We didn't think twice about, well, we're in the 8th class to go there. In fact, I didn't even realize that until much later. I just never did the math. I just went. I mean, that's what we did.
Well, that's awesome. No, that's very amazing. I don't know if you know, here in Houston, I'm an intern for Wesley Hunt. He's also a good
Yes.
friend of Dan
Yeah.
Crenshaw, and he's a West Point grad. So you know, it's always great to see veterans running. You know, I think we need more veterans in office, honestly.
Well, and
But
you've got
let's talk
that
about, yeah.
terrific, gosh, he's in charge of the Guardian Fund. The, the Alan West, the ILG,
Yes,
the
yes.
Texas GOP
Alan
chairman.
West is
Yeah,
he's
so
the
he
state
hasn't.
chair.
Yeah,
Yes, I was able to vote for him. I was a delegate for him. I'm good friends with Alan West, and he's been a great chairman and a great speaker. You know, every time he comes up, he just gets people fired up. You know, it's that kind of strong leadership that was missing in the GOP, that I think anyway.
he's
So,
terrific.
but
Yeah, he is
he
just
is.
terrific. I've met him couple times, and I have so much admiration for that man.
Definitely, definitely. Well, if you're ever if you do get elected and you're ever visiting, we should definitely do an event together with Ellen West and maybe all the Army veterans running for office.
We're all in on that. Yeah, you guys have the best commercial, the one that Crenshaw put together, gathering
Yes,
up
yeah,
all the troops, sending the battalion to Congress type stuff. It was just a fabulous
yeah.
commercial. We're all jealous up here in Illinois.
Well, I think with Crenshaw, it's very interesting because Crenshaw is trying to use his platform to, bring light to these interesting candidates, and he's done it a lot in the primaries, trying to promote candidates through the primaries, and onto that, um, I think he's trying to reach a new generation. He's a young person. He's able to, I can see it here in Houston. He's able to get people who would have never been interested in politics into politics because he's just that cool. That's actually one of the reasons why I'm trying to do this series on an Instagram Live, so we can get more people used to using social media. I think that's how we're gonna reach out to a newer audience.
Yep, I agree. It's a very powerful tool as long as big tech isn't censoring it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. They wouldn't be censoring it if we just had an army of people, using the media. They can't censor all of us, so we just get more people out and involved and outspoken. Like I noticed you're a very outspoken person, so we just get people to be more true to themselves and speaking out the facts and not afraid to back down. I think we would be able to fight back.
I
Um,
agree. The answer to free speech is always more speech. It's not to shut
definitely,
people.
definitely.
Yep.
If there's something you disagree with, you have freedom to debate them and prove them wrong. There's no reason to say that they can't say it.
Right.
That's what I thought anyway. So I wanted to ask, in this political divide, we focus more on politics and partisan acts more than we do policy. The day and day, or excuse me, the laws that affect our day and day life.
That's right.
So let's say hypothetically, you do get elected. Republicans flip the House, they keep the Senate, they keep the presidency. Dream scenario. What would be the very first priorities that you would try to focus on in Congress in regards to representing your constituents?
Listen, you need to show leadership in terms of reopening the economy. Now, unfortunately, Congress isn't making those sorts of decisions other than to support that initiative through targeted temporary help to do so, and basically
Yeah,
making sure that we're funding the right things that will help reopen the economy, like a vaccine program, if you want to take it, it's your choice, like treatment programs, things like that, like maybe money for schools, but temporary and targeted, because if we don't reopen this economy soon, we're all going to indebt your generation for just decades to come. It's just not workable. Kids need to be back in school. I'm 100% behind kids in school. And I honestly, at this point, think federal funds should be tied to school districts that are opening up schools. And unfortunately, you do have like tyrants that are sitting in governor seats that are deciding what business is essential, what's not. And this is devastating to families. It's devastating to kids. And there's a way to do this safely. We've never shut down before like this in a pandemic, and there's no need to shut down to this extreme. If masks work, then masks work. But I mean, however you want to decide on that, the science can decide. But then we have to open up this economy. That also includes restoring law and order across the nation, so that when you go down and you're sitting outside at dinner, some group doesn't come up, swipe the table clean of the dishware, and turn it over on you and tell you to raise a fist. That is not American. So restoration of law and order is really important as well. But that's priority number one. After that, there's so much else to work on. Let's face it, from budget caps and deficit reduction to making college more affordable, getting kids into the right jobs, so that everybody has a place for the in the economy going forward. There's a lot to work on.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I know how you feel. My mom, or excuse me, my grandmother owns a restaurant, and restaurants have been hit the hardest.
Yes.
And my dad also owns a truck driving business, and he's been hit. And everyone in my family pretty much suffered from reduced hours from our jobs, and it's hard, especially coming from I come from a middle income family. It's hard for everyone, and it's frustrating because you don't see the rich politicians. They're sitting in their comfortable $1 million homes. I don't know how they get $1 million to afford such homes, but they'll never see the blunt impact of their actions, and it's sad to see.
I could not agree with you more. And I love how you use the right words. You say middle income, not middle class, because we're not a class
Yeah,
society. We still believe in
yeah,
the American dream for everybody and that you can move up and that we
yeah,
transcend classes. But the middle income wage earners are the ones most affected by this shutdown, as are the poor children whose both parents have to work, and yet they're left to kind of fend for themselves over remote learning. It's just wrong.
yeah. No, no. My mom has to. I have a baby brother, and my mom has to homeschool him essentially. She's never done that before, and it's being a full time working mother, it's difficult. We don't have anyone else to help him learn, and honestly, I feel like he's going to fall behind, and it scares me because if you're looking for opportunity, you're looking for growth and a chance to get into a good high school or a good middle school, etc. You don't want to think of your own sibling falling behind, and then can't do anything to help them.
Agreed.
It's scary.
It is. Yep. I
Yeah.
know.
So I don't want to keep you up for too long. I wanted to ask you one final question. Your experience in politics, you're a city councilwoman and you're a state legislator. Um, Most of the people following this account are themselves college students who are, just getting into politics. What advice do you have for young people who are looking to get into politics?
I would say you need to follow politics closely. I would encourage them to get involved locally. And I would also say that don't like, I mean, politics is a worthy mission, but, and you need really good people to go into politics. It is a position where you're making decisions on other people's lives. I take that very, very, very seriously, that the decisions I make impact others. But I would say that you shouldn't go into politics with saying, like, I just want to be a politician.
Yeah,
That's not how you should go in. You should go in knowing, having a broad background, understanding, maybe running for a local office. That's the best thing. So many people come out of the box and they're like, oh, I'm going to run for Congress, without having done, understanding what actually happens at the local, maybe the state level. But you should have some sort of background to basically understand how it all works together, the system of federalism. And so I would say, get involved locally, even run locally before you decide to level it up, and to have some sort of real background in the free economy or in the military, some sort of experience that gives you a different set of knowledge, rather than just like, out of the box, I'm 25, I'm going to run for Congress. That's my
definitely.
advice.
Well, that's great. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. I am very honored. You're definitely one of my favorite candidates, so I'm honored to finally have spoken with you. Um, Go Army, beat Navy. I, I
Yes.
wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, and our son's on the Sprint Army football team at West Point, and they're playing Navy this weekend. So yes, go Army, beat Navy.
Awesome, awesome.
Yep.
I wish him the best of luck.
Thank you. Thanks, Tam.
All right.
Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. That was Miss Jeanne Ives. She's running for Congress in Illinois '06. I believe that is the suburban side of west of Chicago. So if you're in the area, please support her. Please volunteer. Vote for her. Donate if you can. I'll see you around at the next interview. Have a great day, y'all.